thank you very much for your time. Before we talk about your magnificent 100, where's this game at? How are you seeing it?
I think it's perfect day 5 wicket for us to bowl on, but it'll be a very interesting game, and it's a blockbuster finish waiting tomorrow.
It's been a blockbuster test match for us to watch. What's it been like for you to take part in?
Yeah, it was. I mean, when the test match started, I felt like the wicket was, a beautiful batting wicket, and I thought this would go towards a draw. But today the wickets played a bit of tricks. It's obviously day 4 wicket. There's been a bit of wear and tear, and wasn't as easy as the first 3 days batting on it. So we were hoping that tomorrow, the cracks open up. There's a bit of rough there for Jadeja as well. If he can get a few wickets early in the first hour, it'll be a very interesting test match.
If there's been any uneven bounce, has it more been up off the cracks, or has there been the odd one that stayed down?
It's been both. It's been a bit of both, up and down, and the pace of the wickets obviously become much slower. There are a few balls that's kicking off. I think Stokesy and Cast, when they bowled from this end in the first session, they got a few balls to kick up, and wickets playing a few tricks.
Well, at the start of the day, you lost an early wicket with Shubman Gill, but then Rishabh Pant came in and he tried a few outrageous shots. What's the conversation you have with him at that stage?
You stay silent, bro. You batted with him, and I've had a few partnerships with him in Test cricket as well, and it's hard for us to understand his mindset, but you got to let Rishabh Pant be Rishabh Pant. There's obviously a method to his madness. He's averaging about 45 or something in Test cricket, so obviously there is a lot of thinking behind the outrageous shots that he plays. So you just let him be, and try and calm him down as much as possible between balls, and just chat with him, make sure he's in the right frame of mind, and keep it relaxed.
The last 18 months for me, according to you, has been the best that you've batted. You've been versatile, you've scored runs in various conditions. What's changed?
Honestly, not a lot. I mean, you've seen me. We've played together for many years. I'm just getting runs now. I wasn't getting. There was a time where I wasn't converting those starts. I always used to get starts and not convert them into big scores, and in Test cricket especially. So now I think it's just the stage of cricket I'm at, the journey I'm at, and a lot of things have changed. I'm a lot more calm in my head and not really chasing numbers or any of that, just trying to enjoy cricket as much as I can. Obviously, there has been a lot of work put in behind the scenes. The coach I've worked with for the last 15 to 18 months, Abhishek Nair, I've spent a lot of time with him, and gone back to the basics, gone back to doing time. There was a time in international cricket where I felt like quality over quantity. I got into that mindset and I didn't hit enough balls, but now I'm back to enjoying hitting a lot of balls in the net, spending a lot of time when I'm training before the series, batting hours and hours together, and just help me switch on a lot more.
One last question. When you look at that test average and it says mid-30s, does it hurt you? And you think,
of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it hurts me a lot. But again, I don't want to get into the numbers. I've never really looked at averages and the number of runs. I want to create an impact for the team wherever I've been asked to bat, or whenever I'm given the chance to play for the country. I want to do my best, enjoy my cricket. I love playing Test cricket. That's what I've done growing up. That's what I've watched. That's what I wanted to be, a Test cricketer. So yeah, I've been blessed with opportunities and again, and so I try and grab that opportunity, try and create an impact.
Final question from me, and then we'll let you go, and thank you very much for your time. England have said, and it's on record, they're not doing draws. Ben Stokes said that to me straight away. Does that help you try and take 10 wickets tomorrow?
Of course, like I said, I mean, someone's going to win tomorrow. It'll be an interesting day. The wicket's obviously not as easy to bat on as it was in the first innings. They're not going to find it easy to come and hit the ball on the rise and take their chances. But obviously that gives us an opportunity to be in the game, and we know that even if they get a big partnership, if we get a couple of wickets, we're right back in the game. And that's what we're banking on, trying to put as much pressure as we can, not give away easy runs, put them under pressure, suffocate them a little bit, and see what they come up with.
Well played.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, bro.
Seems happy, seems content with life. Is that one of the reasons why this consistency that you've just spoken to him about has come to the fore?
I have no doubt about it. I think marriage did a lot of good to him. He went through a bit of a turbulent phase with injuries, but today he's a father. He's a lot more sorted. He knows what he wants out of life. He knows a lot more as to what he wants out of cricket. Sometimes you go chasing after numbers, but I think what he's going chasing after is the enjoyment of batting, which is great to see.
And they are 21 without loss at stumps on day 4. The guests keep on coming because Stuart Broad and I are joined by Josh Tongue, who has had another good day. Before we talk about you specifically, this is exciting. How are you seeing this?
Yeah, it's very exciting. I think obviously chasing 371. Obviously to get them all out at the end of the day and getting through that half an hour was obviously crucial not to lose a wicket. I thought Ducking and Zach batted really well.
How patient did you have to be today in the field?
Yeah, we were really patient. I think that first session we bowled really well. I thought we were really unlucky. And the message was pretty much go out there and try and hit the pitch as hard as we can to try and get something out of it. And I thought we were, yeah, like I said, really unlucky. And then I think they obviously flattened out in that second session, but then obviously to get those wickets at the end were crucial.
We'll come on to those wickets and how you feasted on some pie again, but that period where Rishabh was going and Ben had the field all over the place, what was the chat out in the middle? Because there was some quite defensive field set. We're not necessarily used to seeing England go that way.
I think just to stay patient, because I think at how he bats, anything could happen, which with some of the shots that he played, I thought he could have easily put one in the air quite early on in his innings. But yeah, it was obviously a great bash that got him in the end.
Is that the reason you didn't have a first slip? You know, he nicked the ball past Jamie Smith, went for 4, and then you bought a slip in 2 balls later. Is it because he could sweep one in the air, he could hit one straight to mid-off? Is that the reason without a slip straight after lunch?
I think in that first, I think he charged me. And I think as soon as he did that, Stokes was like, let's just put that man back just in case with that top edge. And then obviously that nick that went through there was obviously frustrating. But
yeah, he snuck one in 3 balls later though. He thought we wouldn't notice, but
yeah,
he did get one in the end.
But yeah, it's obviously frustrating, but it's just one of those things that happens.
Do you have to guess what Rishabh's trying to do?
Most of the time, I think, yeah. I think 'cause he moves around the crease quite a lot as well. But how I was trying to bowl was just try and bowl my best ball for as long as I can, and if he hits me off my good length, then sort of so be it. But yeah, I'm just glad that we got him out in the end.
As a general point, did you all drag the seamers, drag your lengths back a bit because of the pitch?
I think I definitely do. I think my natural length is that sort of back of the length, top of the stumps.
Bryden definitely did in the second innings. He was a metre shorter.
Yeah, I think anyone that's got a bit of bounce and pace, I think hitting that hard length and try and make them hit you off that length, and hopefully you either get one that goes in the air or whatever happens, especially how he was batting. Obviously the pitch was fairly flat. I think getting those wickets at the back end were obviously crucial. Like they could have batted for the rest of the day, and then who knows how many runs they could have got up to. But yeah, I do enjoy bowling at the tail because it's a good opportunity to get wickets. I think every fast bowler enjoys doing it.
Wasn't a bad hat-trick ball, but what were you thinking as you were running in?
Just aim for the pegs, I think. Yeah, full and straight. Obviously got bat on it, but I was glad to get him in the next ball.
I don't know if that's going to animate on or not. Yeah, so just in terms of your position at the crease, first innings you sort of came a little wider on occasion. Second innings you sort of held where you were in the crease. Why was that?
I think just to mix it up. I feel like because of my angle of how I deliver the ball past that perpendicular, I feel like when I come wider the crease, it can either hold or it can come back into the pads to get both dismissal really.
Are you consciously thinking of going slightly fuller to the lower order to bring the stumps into play? Because you have a great ability to still hit the pitch when you go fuller, and we've seen you knock the stumps out the ground and bring the edges in, but just from that slightly fuller length, certainly to the lower order.
Yeah, I think it's just a natural thing that I do, I think, but still making sure I'm hitting the pitch hard. I feel like sometimes early on in my bowling, I feel like when I do go that fuller length, it's a bit floaty. But yeah, I just still try and make sure I hit the pitch hard as I can.
Well played, thank you very much. You have to go.
Cheers,
appreciate your time.
Cheers.
Thanks very much indeed. Going to bring this up though. The enormity of what faces England tomorrow though is still stark.
It is, but there's a great chance, and it'll be a very positive England changing room tonight, because India could have put this game to bed, actually, after tea. They could have gone and got 420, 430, and I don't think England are chasing that. So, you know, I think England will notice how many times Josh there said it's still a really good pitch. It still feels a good pitch to strike the ball on. Felt quite flat. The new ball's going to be key tomorrow, getting through that sort of new ball period. And once the ball gets slightly older, it just doesn't respond as much off this surface. So yeah, really, really fascinating day's play coming our way tomorrow.
What sort of day of India had then? Because in the end, any talk of declaration, DK, was taken out of the equation because they were bowled out. So how would they sum up that?
It's very funny because Josh Tongue has come out and said the pitch is great to bat. Rahul told him it's keeping up, it's going low.
That's because he's
much
got
harder to bat
137 and he took wickets.
So I guess you got to see what you got to see. You just want to think it's going a certain way that you hope will turn the game around for your strengths. And right now, India will back themselves for two things. A, the belief that they can get wickets. B, because England are definitely going after a result, there will be opportunities as well. That's what they would rely on, even if the pitch is extremely flat. A couple of wickets and you know what pressure can do. That's what they'll be looking to do. But it's been a day that's been dominated by India's batters for a majority of the time. I thought Pant and Rahul batted really nicely. But as this test match has shown us, England again came back when given the opportunity. So at this point, it's completely blank. We're almost as good as we started on day one. We don't know what's going to happen. But we have two teams, both looking for the victory, more so with England. But I believe India, if Bumrah gets it going, you never know.
I think India have to be favourites. You have to be favourites. Coming into the final day on a day 5 pitch, 349 runs still to win. You only need to create 10 opportunities. I mean, crucially, they'll need to take their catches. But I think there's 10 opportunities on that pitch with this Indian bowling group. So they have to be favourites, but that's why sport's so wonderful, isn't it? England will be in that change room talking up their chances and believing they're favourites, and India will be thinking that they've got the bowling that attack that can go and win them the game. I'm
going to come on to what KL said about the uneven bounce in just due course, but to back up what Josh Tongue said, 21 without loss, they did it fairly easily. Heavy roller went on in between innings. Heavy roller will go on again tomorrow morning. That first half an hour while that roller's in place is when they'll be taking on Bumrah. Get past that and then India and Shubman have got some thinking to do because it hasn't really happened at the other end with the ball for India.
Absolutely. I completely agree that the pitch will probably get better to bat on, especially after a roller. But one thing you have to take in mind, there's a bit of rain around the corner. And that could mean grey skies. And when there's a bit of grey skies, we know what happens with the swing. And that's what Bumrah exploited in the first innings as well. And that could very well be the case tomorrow as well. So you need to look, from an India's point of view, you need to look at that and believe that a couple of wickets there and then pressure will do the rest. As of tomorrow, I definitely feel India start favourites. And we did see the ball go up and down a bit. Rahul got hit a couple of times on his glove. Karun Nair had a couple that kept low. A lot of it is the cracks that Mark Butcher was speaking about in the pitch report as well. So there is something in this pitch. And as Stuart said, all it takes is 10 good pills here.
Hold your discipline, hold your line then. Hold your lengths if it's like this. Keep it simple.
Definitely, but also Shubman Gill's got a responsibility to use the bowlers well as well. Short, sharp spells, giving the bowlers the best opportunity, come in and whack the pitch as hard as they can. Yes, we've talked about Bumrah all week, haven't we? Well, probably all year really, how sensational he's been since that Australia tour as well. But Krishna's a big one for me tomorrow. Tall bowler, hits the pitch hard, doesn't get sort of full and floaty. Tall bowlers extract a little bit more out of cracked surfaces, so a bit of responsibility on him tomorrow to come in and just keep it simple with his lines, make the batter play. Have in your mind it's all about making the batter make a decision, make them play. If you get any variable bounce on a good line, you can cause a lot of trouble.
Also, one important thing is Shubman Gill cannot be thinking like what we are thinking in the comm box, that Bumrah is my only bowler. He needs to show faith in everyone, which would mean bringing a Prasidh from the pavilion end, giving him the opportunity. A lot of the wickets have fallen from this end. A lot of the uneven bounce is happening from this end. If he doesn't give the belief to the bowler that I back you to pick a wicket for me, the bowler will feel it. It's not something that is said, but it is felt by any bowler. You need to make sure that every bowler feels that they're going to be the match winner every time they have a ball in the hand. That's very important, and that's got a lot to do with what Shubman does on the field.
We need to talk about this man for so many reasons, not least 200s in the game. What an achievement. You described him as India's greatest wicketkeeper batsman.
I definitely believe that he is India's greatest wicketkeeper batsman. MS Dhoni was outstanding as a leader, got 600s as a batter, but what Rishabh Pant has done in this small little period of time that he's played Test cricket, he's redefined what a keeper can do in India. He's played some brilliant knocks, has been India's best batter with some stalwarts in India's batting lineup like likes of Kohli, Rohit Sharma. He's averaged the best. He's scored runs. For an Indian, it's a challenge to score in Australia, South Africa, England. Rishabh Pant has done it all. He's done well, really well under pressure. And he has a very unique way of doing it. You got to enjoy it. Sometimes it goes our way, sometimes it doesn't go his way. But the fact is that he is still India's #1 batter across 5 years now.
He really had England under pressure at times today, and I'm not saying Ben Stokes blinked, but we saw some very defensive fields.
Yeah, I think deliberately, in the sense that hoping that Pant would find a fielder out in the deep almost, make a mistake himself, get himself out, almost saying, OK, we're going to try and protect the boundaries, not let you score a run a ball. And if you suddenly flick one down, fine leg throw it, then happy days. So I think it was more designed around that than going, OK, we'll put 3 slips in. If you get 70 off 50 balls, we're OK with it because you might create a chance. So, yeah, you're right. It was an interesting sort of passage of play, but a huge credit to how Pant goes about his business, that he's making England think so differently. Having bowled quite a bit against him, he is really difficult to bowl at because he'll block, he'll leave, he'll be very calm, then suddenly he charges at you and hits you over your head, and there's no rhyme or reason for when he's going to do that. It's just when he decides that it's time to go and do that. So it's really difficult to bowl. Like, you have to hold your nerve as a bowler. You have to just try and continue to bowl your best ball, try and bring the stumps into play if you can. In conditions like this, you know, throughout the series, we might find a pitch that nips around and has more bounce, go a bit wider, try and bring the slips into play. But this surface hasn't been one of those sort of pitches, and England have had to think on their feet a bit. It was a wonderful game for him, 200s. He will be hoping they are match-winning hundreds.
I don't want to make it all about Jasprit Bumrah, and you rightly said what Shubman's got to do. He's got to trust the guys at the other end. But it is a lot about Jasprit Bumrah. We know he's not going to play all 5 games, so this is a massive opportunity to win one of the 3 or 4 that he's going to play in.
It is. And I'm sure he wants to make that impact. He's someone who strives for success. He likes the big moments, and he makes it work. And he's done it time and time again for India. Tomorrow is an opportunity. He will wake up and he will come to the ground knowing that if he picks up a 3-for or a 4-for, India have a great chance of winning this test match. And I can tell you, every bone in his body will be thinking, what do I need to do to get these guys out?
It's been a fabulous 4 days, and it promises to end, weather permitting, that's the one thing, in a fabulous climax. We shall have to wait and see.